What if everything you've been told about Caligula is wrong? History calls him a madman, a tyrant, but what if his so-called madness wasn't madness at all? What if it was strategy? Today we're diving into the deadly purges of Rome's most infamous emperor, and you might just discover that Caligula wasn't the villain, but the hero of his own story. Born in Antium in 12 CE, Gaius Julius Caesar Germanicus seemed destined for greatness. His father, Germanicus, was a war hero adored by the people. His mother, Agrippina the Elder, was a direct descendant of Augustus. But Rome is never kind to its chosen sons. Political intrigue and betrayal claimed his father's life, then his brother's. By the time Caligula became emperor, he had learned one brutal truth. In Rome, survival demanded sacrifice. When Caligula became emperor in 37 CE, Rome cheered. He promised reforms, public games, and a new era of prosperity, but within months, a mysterious illness struck. Some said it changed him, others said it revealed the man he had always been. Rome's golden boy began to see enemies everywhere, and in a city like Rome, enemies were never far away. The man who had promised Rome prosperity now saw only enemies in every corner. Caligula's purges didn't come out of nowhere. They were precise, targeted, and some would argue, inevitable. The question isn't whether Caligula was cruel, the question is, was he wrong? They said the purges were a sign of madness, but if you ruled an empire where betrayal was the norm, how far would you go to secure your throne? The Senate wasn't innocent. For years it thrived on betrayal and shifting alliances. Caligula had seen power destroy the unprepared. His purges weren't madness, they were survival. The first targets weren't random. Senators whispered of treason, fearing Caligula knew their secrets. Names were listed, crossed out, and silenced. And some of those whispers, they might have been true. Even as they condemned him, the Senate fanned rebellion's flames. The same men who accused Caligula of tyranny would soon conspire to kill him. What would you do, surrounded by people waiting for your first mistake to strike? Marcus Lepidus was more than an ally, he was family. As Caligula's brother-in-law, married to his beloved sister Drusilla, Lepidus held a position of trust. But trust in Rome was a dangerous game. After Drusilla's death, Caligula accused Lepidus of plotting with his other sisters, Agrippina and Julia Livilla. The trial was swift, the execution brutal. Lepidus's death wasn't just a betrayal, it was a warning. In Caligula's Rome, loyalty was not enough. Family wasn't enough. In my opinion, Lepidus's rise in influence made him a threat too dangerous to ignore. As Caligula's purges escalated, fear gripped the Senate and the Praetorian Guard. By 41 CE, the line between paranoia and pragmatism vanished. To the Senate, Caligula was a tyrant. To Caligula, he was defending his throne in a city built on betrayal. Predator and prey shifted roles in an instant, and it was Caligula who fell. The Guard turned their swords against him, ending his reign in a fury of blades. Perhaps in the end, his greatest mistake wasn't cruelty, but believing he could outmaneuver Rome's true masters, the Senate and the Guard. Caligula's purges left scars on Rome, but they also left questions. In a city built on betrayal where power demanded blood, was Caligula truly the villain? Or was he simply a ruler who understood Rome's darkest truth, that survival meant striking first? Caligula's story isn't just about madness or cruelty, it's about survival in a world where betrayal was the rule, not the exception. Was he a tyrant or a man who simply played the game better than his enemies until he didn't? That's for you to decide.